is what brings us together today. That blessed arrangement, that dream within a dream. Love, true love, will follow you forever. So treasure your love. These words, so eloquently spoken by a minister in the 1987 film, The Princess Bride, were spoken at the scene of an arranged marriage. The marriage between Buttercup and Prince Humperdinck. Indeed, perhaps fiction, although many elements of The Princess Bride can be used to illustrate the evils that we see in our world today, especially arranged marriage. Prince Humperdinck had no intention of loving, supporting, or guiding Buttercup in their marriage. In fact, spoiler alert, he intended to murder her to start a war. Anyway, now Buttercup had been forced into this arranged marriage against her will, for she was in love with another, a man by the name of Wesley, who, although a famous bloody pirate, knew her, cared for her, loved her, and as far as we know, had no intention of murking her. Now, if you haven't seen the movie yet, I don't want to spoil it for you, so cover your ears. But in the end, Wesley comes and saves Buttercup because of his true love, and they ride off into the sunset and probably go get married or something. I don't know. But the moral of this story and this incredibly long introduction is Buttercup will now will always suffer from the trauma inflicted through her almost arranged marriage. Now, what is an arranged marriage? Let's define it. Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines arranged marriage as a marriage in which the spouses are chosen for each other by their parents. Now, I will be speaking on whether or not arranged marriages are a good idea. Now, arranged marriages are sometimes used for personal gain. They are not necessarily supported biblically under the new law, and depending on the situation, can be synonymous with forced marriage. Now, first, on the grounds of personal gain. Michael Bryson and R.B. Mavosi wrote in their book, Love and Its Crisis, they will risk all for love, defying the system of arranged marriages that leaves room for no passion, except perhaps for greed. So dedicated is that system to the profitable gains to be had through marriage and children. They speak, of course, of those who have been written about by poets, who have been written about in books, in scripture, etc. Now, even in our fiction, there's an element of truth. In scripture, in Ruth 4:5, says, Boaz said, on the day you buy the land from Naomi, you will also acquire Ruth the Moabite, the dead man's widow, in order to maintain the name of the dead with his property. In this story, Boaz had pure intentions. However, what we know of humanity, others with similar opportunities might not be so noble. In the olden days, in scripture, it is seen that arranged marriages often come with property or with inheritances. Now, secondly, according to the New Testament, arranged marriages are not necessarily encouraged. I use the word necessarily so I don't get struck by God for heresy, because I'm not necessarily a scholar or anything on this topic, but according to my research, there isn't any strong push towards arranged marriages under the New Covenant. Yes, the New Testament has a ton to say about how to treat each other once you get married. However, it has little to nothing about the leading up to marriage. That makes Christian dating really hard. But it does say in 2 Corinthians 6:14, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. For what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness? Or what fellowship has light with darkness? Now, equality of the soul or yoke is not just in your religion, but also in your spirituality. Now, your parents may know you, but they do not know you as well as they think they do. You and God are the only people who can know where you stand spiritually and what you need in a spiritual partner, so that you can fully fulfill the picture of Christ and the church. Now, finally, arranged marriages can become forced marriages. Forced marriage is defined by the USCIS as a marriage that takes place without the consent of one or both of the people in the marriage. In a study done by the U.S. Department of Justice, about 10% of a randomly surveyed group in the United States claimed to have been in a forced marriage, 2% having recently left that forced marriage. Interestingly enough, men were affected at almost double the rate that women were into being forced into the marriage that they were in. Now, marriage, created by God to complete humanity and to create community. Yes, I acknowledge that the first marriage ever, Adam and Eve, was an arranged marriage. However, it was arranged by God, who is perfect, who is all-knowing and perfect in love. I am here today to speak against arranged marriages, but I pray every single day for the man that God has chosen for me. And that is the only arranged marriage I will ever be okay with.